This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by HostGator. Coming up on Destructoid, Assassin's Creed 3 has a Wolfpack mode, Tara previews Borderlands 2 with some fresh new gameplay, and Ellen Page and David Cage in Cage and Page Beyond. All this and more right now on Destructoid Live.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy Friday the 13th.
That's my line. For once, it actually.
I know, I stole it.
You stole my
It's
line.
mine
Yeah,
now.
it's Friday the 13th, which is bad, unless it's episode 333 of your show, which it is. That's 3 threes. Good luck. We beat you, Satan.
That's half of 666. That can't be good luck. That's not how
But
it
it's
works.
3 threes.
No.
You suck at sorcery.
I don't know. I don't know numbers.
Talk about the thing.
Okay, fine. Before we get into today's show, we're giving away a Steam code that will get you a copy of Spec Ops: The Line plus the Fubar DLC pack. This comes to us courtesy of the amazing Defy Gravity on Twitter. You guys should all go follow him because he's really nice and he gives us things that we give to you. So for some reason you're not familiar with Spec Ops: The Line, this is the third-person shooter from 2K that received very high marks from us and most of the internet for its surprisingly sophisticated narrative and dark plot and sand.
Yeah.
Don't forget the sand. All that sand can be yours for free. All you need to do is tweet, I'm watching at Detoid Show live on www.youtube.com/Detoid for a chance to win Spec Ops: The Line. You put that WW in there. You do it so people can click that link. Please, thank you. And remember, this is a Steam code, so you'll need a PC and one Steam that can run it. So if you have both of those, then get your tweets in so we can pick a winner and then announce it at the end of the show.
I like how softly you pronounced yo there.
Yeah.
Like you wrote that in there, but you were like, get yo tweets in.
Yo tweets.
Yo tweets.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spec Ops is cool, and Defy Gravity is good for donating this to us because no publisher is giving us any codes to give away.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah, sometimes they do.
But not
Please
lately.
more. Please more. Anyway, Assassin's Creed 3 came out of left field back in February after those first 4 or 5 games. Nobody was expecting a third one. Whatever, that doesn't make any sense. But it surprised the hell out of everyone by looking like one of the coolest games of the year after kind of a lackluster reception for Revelations. The series obviously has a huge fan base, but the new entry looks just really incredible, and it's gotten people like me who didn't care before interested, and Ubisoft keeps upping the ante and revealing new stuff. At Comic-Con yesterday, it was announced that AC3 is going to have co-op multiplayer. This comes in the form of a new mode called Wolfpack.
Oh.
Yeah, you were totally thinking of Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover right there, weren't you?
Actually, no, I was thinking of Bradley Cooper shirtless.
Okay, that's fair. I'll take that too.
Okay.
So the co-op mode will put 4 players against 25 waves of targets that must be assassinated, and each wave will be more difficult than the last, as is the case in video games frequently. And now obviously this co-op mode will require cooperation, and you'll have to communicate and plan and be tactical and stuff like that, and you know, because that's what every healthy wolf pack needs. You gotta work together, guys. Now Ubisoft is also they also released a walkthrough of the part of Boston they were showing off at E3, which we got to take a look at. We get a look at some of Connor's abilities to like blend into the crowd and how he moves and how he jumps on signs and stuff like that. You know, the running and climbing on trees stuff, maybe that wasn't impressive enough for you. So here he is running and climbing on trees that are near barrels.
Oh.
But here's him hanging some dude. This game looks incredible, and they've really done a lot with. I mean, it's rebuilt from the ground up. This is a new game. This is not like using some farty old engine. Unfortunately, they left out the coolest part of the walkthrough, which is the part where Connor blends into the crowd by petting a dog.
Yeah.
Like he's being chased by a bunch of British guys, and they're all like, "Oh, get that man! He looks like a ghost!" And then Connor just starts petting a dog, and the guards are like, "Oh, it probably wasn't him. He's a dog lover." Anyway. Yeah, that's up over on our Rev3 Games channel, and you should watch it in spite of there being no footage of dogs. There are some pigs and chickens, and obviously some assassinations and stealthy parkour stuff. And Hamza Aziz actually just put up his hands-on impressions of Wolfpack over on Destructoid, so go read that, because Hamza is really hairy, so he probably has a good angle on this.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he's like a dog whisperer
Team
in
Jacob.
real life. So wolves and dogs were not the only news to come out of Comic-Con this week. The Beyond Two Souls starring Ellen Page panel, starring Ellen Page. That happened yesterday, and some tantalizing details managed to slip out in the process. For starters, David Cage said the idea for the game spawned after a close friend of his passed away, inspiring him to pen the almost 2,000-page script, which he says aims to answer the question of what exactly is Beyond. Now, as far as gameplay goes, it claims to be fully interactive, with players switching back and forth between Jodie, the woman played by Ellen Page, and Aiden, an entity possessed from beyond that's possessed, an entity from beyond that has possessed Jodie for the past 15 years of her life. Unfortunately, they didn't have any actual gameplay to show off at the panel, but according to Cage, Aiden will be able to walk through walls, possess people around him, and interact with the environment. And Ellen Page also let it slip during the panel that her character Jodie gets to pilot a submarine at some point.
You know, I think Ellen Page was just drunk.
Yeah, she probably was.
That doesn't sound like a thing that would happen.
I think she has a substance abuse problem. I don't know, I just made that up. Apart from that, we don't really know much. It is a David Cage game, obviously, so there will be plenty of dialogue to help flesh the characters out and make the story more real and make you bored. And they did say at the panel that players will be forced to make thoughtful decisions that impact the course of the game. What I think is funny is that Quantic Dream sent out a PR email this morning with 12 screenshots for the game in it. Not a single dedicated in-game screenshot in the entire folder. It's like, it's all mocap images of Ellen Page. Like, if you're not even gonna pretend, just go all the way and rename the game like Beyond Ellen Page's Two Souls, the Ellen Page story, starring Ellen Page as Ellen Page. That seems a more appropriate.
I'd like to point out
title.
how appropriate it is they got Greg Miller to host a panel about a game called Beyond because of his stupid Beyond.
He was the host of that?
Yeah, because he's got Beyondcast, his stupid video game podcast that he does.
He's also kind of an important person in the video.
Well, they got Andrea Renee to host the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed panel.
That's cool.
Meanwhile, we're sitting here like a couple of chumps in a dumb room,
I don't
which
want to
isn't
host
a
a
Comic-Con.
panel.
I want to host a panel.
I don't. You did. You hosted 2 at VidCon.
Yeah, but I want to host a Comic-Con panel.
Really?
Yeah.
Do it.
Hey,
just
come
go,
at me,
just
producer
go.
people,
just
guys.
Go up there and nobody will object.
So one of the most pleasant surprises for me at E3 this year was Injustice: Gods Among Us from WB Games and NetherRealm Studios, and it is the game that is basically Mortal Kombat 9 except with DC superheroes. Pretty simple. Now, obviously, San Diego Comic-Con is a great place to draw attention to things about superheroes or anything else. So that's exactly what WB Games decided to do with a new trailer. It starts out, it's like it's going to be a story trailer, and it's got all this ominous voiceover of somebody, I don't know who, saying, "You, I trusted you. You betrayed me. He stole her from me," which really doesn't explain anything. You don't even know who's saying it or who's, I don't know. It's probably Aquaman. His voice dropped. Anyway, the story really isn't the main draw for a fighting game about superheroes punching each other into space and stuff. So from that point forward, the trailer is really just a bunch of gameplay footage of characters beating the crap out of each other. The big element in Injustice that separates it from your normal-ass fighting game where 2 guys punch each other is the level of interactivity with the environments. Like, every character has different environmental attacks from, the Flash sort of slamming somebody's face into the hood of a car super fast, or, Superman picking up that very car and hitting the Flash with it.
Sure.
It's pretty cool. I got to play it, at E3, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you're not a huge fighting game person.
I like fighting games. I'm just bad at them. But I've always had a soft spot for Mortal Kombat, and of course I love comic books.
That's true.
Anyway, in the new trailer, we also get a look at the 2 new characters on the roster, who are Nightwing and Cyborg. I would refer to them as Teen Titans, except they've got to be in their 40s by now.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool to see NetherRealm rolling out some lesser-known characters instead of just revealing more Golden Age A-listers. I would be completely, utterly surprised if Injustice didn't also have like Lex Luthor, the Joker, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter in it. I mean, they're going to be in it. I could pretty much guarantee that. But Nightwing and Cyborg usually get less attention than those guys. They both made video game appearances before, but the majority of them have been in kind of like cartoony, kid-friendly Lego form or whatever. And obviously, DC and WB are really protective of their characters because they've been around for ages. But I think the success of the Arkham games and the recent Batman movies has kind of made them realize that there are plenty of adults out there who, care about these characters, and they don't have to be just pigeonholed into stupid kid stuff.
Yeah. Hey, man, the Avengers made comic book character movies popular.
Yeah.
And now, it's just the floodgates are opened.
I would have loved to just be a fly on the wall in the DC offices when they got the box office results for the Avengers.
Yeah.
Too
bad that movie sucked. Anyway, so I probably don't have to tell you guys, as I'm sure you've spent your life savings already, but the Steam Summer Sale has finally begun, and it's better late than never. From now until July 22nd, when you log into Steam, you'll see a handful of games discounted up to 75% off. It's a little bit different this time. This time they're doing both daily deals, which change every day, and flash deals, which can pop up at any time and disappear very quickly. And then they've also got their typical collection of pack deals, so you can get a whole publisher's catalog for super cheap. Right now, some notable ones, they've got a 2K Games pack that comes with BioShock 2, Borderlands, The Darkness 2, Mafia 2, Duke Nukem Forever, Civilization 5, and Spec Ops: The Line, which just came out 3 weeks ago. We're giving it away on our show. That's like $40 if you want to buy it on PC. You get all 7 of those games for $50, which is a huge deal. And for those of you who have been dying to play Max Payne 3, you might want to check out the Rockstar bundle that comes with GTA 4, episodes from Liberty City, LA Noire, and Max Payne 3, all for $50 as well. So great deals there. If you notice also on the right side of the Steam homepage, they've got a community choice column where you can vote for a new game to be discounted every 8 hours, which is really cool. So I think like for the next 20 minutes, you can grab Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter for the low price of $2.49, which is outrageous. And Steam tends to discount more of their games on the last day of the sale. So keep that in mind. If you don't see the game that you want under their daily deals section, just have patience, because it might show up on the last day of the sale. And also remember, both their community choice and flash discounts are new to the summer sale, and so you might have to log into Steam several times a day to see if the game that you want is discounted, since they kind of change every so often.
Probably get on that. It's like Christmas in July.
I know. I feel like love is in the air or something.
Gabe Newell just puts
like
on a big Santa
chirping.
Claus beard. So we got anything cool there? Anything? Somebody asked if we had any news about Watch Dogs. We don't.
No.
They asked if we're going to talk about Borderlands 2. We are, but do you want to talk about a word from our sponsor first?
Yes, let's do that. You guys, blogs and websites are getting pretty popular these days, I hear. And if you're looking for a place to launch your own, then look no further than HostGator. They've got plans starting at only $3.96 a month, and they come standard with top-rated 24/7 customer support and access to tools, including a website builder with over 4,000 templates built in already. Even better, they will migrate your current site for free. Did I mention that their servers are 130% powered by wind energy? It's completely green web hosting, guys. I don't know how it works, but it does. Every new sign-up also gets you unlimited disk space and bandwidth, a 45-day money-back guarantee, and a $100 Google AdWords credit to help you market your website. And HostGator is offering all Revision 3 viewers 25% off their order, or your first month is completely free. Just go to HostGator.com and enter the code Destructoid at checkout. It supports us, and then we support gators, which are an endangered species, I hear.
With windmills.
Yes, totally.
So anyway, back to the show. As you guys are well aware, I've had a long-standing rivalry with Epic Games head Cliff. Please stop calling me Cliffy B. Blazinski ever since our fateful motorcycle race that went around Dead Man's Curve and caused his high school sweetheart to fall in love with me and lost him the use of his left arm for the duration of his senior year.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Actually, I think that was somebody else. The point of my story is Epic Games held a panel at Comic-Con for their newest game, Fortnite, and they revealed a whole bunch of stuff about it that is interesting that I will tell you right now. For starters, it's going to be the first game running Unreal Engine 4, and that's awesome. We're all excited about that. And considering that Epic is usually known for making dirty, angry, grisly games about stuff blowing up and making bloody messes in mud puddles, I think it's really cool that they're debuting their new engine in a game that is like more cheerful and cartoony. The audience at Comic-Con was shown a bunch of fancy kind of sizzle reel type stuff of the game's engine and how it's going to look. Dynamic wind effects, animated skies with rolling clouds, shiny stuff.
I love wind.
Bright things, colors. All of these things are going to be in the game. As for the game itself, Cliff has said that it takes a cue from Minecraft and offers, sandbox gameplay based around sort of collecting building materials by day and constructing a shelter of some kind, and then at night, the zombies and monsters come out. And you've got to fight them off and defend your fort. It's like tower defense in the most literal sense. Now this all sounds really great, but here's the kicker. This is new. It's a PC exclusive.
Ooh.
That's right. During the panel, Cliff Blazinski planted his pouty lips firmly on the butt cheeks of the PC gaming community when he made the bold claim that next gen is here. It's a high-end PC. I can't believe I just wrote that sentence and then read it out loud on the internet. Cliff, please don't punch me. Now, obviously, things are constantly changing in this industry, but this is a bit of a 180 from Cliff's statements on PC gaming a few years ago. Back in 2008, he ruffled some feathers by effectively dismissing PC gaming in favor of consoles, possibly because of the lackluster sales of Unreal Tournament 3 on PC compared to Gears of War on Xbox 360. But, a lot's changed since then. Guys, I gotta say, Fortnite looks really cool, and I'm really dying to see Unreal 4 in action. As far as this being a true PC exclusive, considering Epic Games' relationship with Microsoft, it really wouldn't surprise me if we saw this as a launch title for whatever the hell we're calling the Xbox 360's successor this week. We don't have a date for any of these things, but that's a thing that might happen. I want to see the Unreal 4 engine in action. Speaking of Epic Games, Gears of War Judgment is coming out March 19th, 2013,
No,
if you're
it's not.
into that kind of thing. That's an announcement, so there you go.
Yep. Also, remember, guys, we're giving away a copy of Spec Ops today. All you need to do to win it is hop on Twitter and tweet the phrase, "I'm watching at Detoid Show" live on www.youtube.com/Detoid for a chance to win Spec Ops The Line. We're giving away one copy of it that was generously provided to us by Defy Gravity. So make sure you tweet that, and then we'll announce the winner at the end of the show. But first, there are Borderlands that need discussing. Yes. First things first. If you have not yet watched any of the Borderlands 2 videos that we put up this week, go watch them immediately.
No, not immediately.
No, right. Sorry. Wait till we finish this and then go watch them. Anthony interviewed the CEO of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford. That's over on our Red3 Games channel. Very interesting interview. They talk about not just things related to Borderlands, but, Duke Nukem Forever and all kinds of good stuff. And over on our Detoy channel, which is the one you're watching now, I interviewed the design producer of Borderlands 2, Randy Varnell. But yeah, also video preview I put up this morning on this channel also. If you haven't watched that yet, go do it in 10 minutes or so. But I didn't have quite enough time in that video to talk about all the things that I wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna do them now. And it's gonna be great, right, Max?
Do it.
So this, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, we went over to meet with Randy Pitchford and a few people, and we played about 90 minutes of Borderlands 2, and our playtime was kind of split up into two parts. We had a city area and then an outside area, and the city area was called Sanctuary, which is kind of the main city hub in Borderlands 2. Got a little bit of a New Vegas Strip vibe to it almost, and we were doing this mission called A Train to Catch, where we wanted to go up and meet with Roland and Lilith, who are now part of the Crimson Raiders, which is like a crime-fighting organization, I guess, and they've hatched this plan to go steal some vault keys from Handsome Jack, and that I kind of go do that, and I enlist Mordecai to help. All of the characters from the previous game, all of the playable characters rather, from the original game are in this, and of course Claptrap is in there. In fact, if you go to find him as a side quest in Sanctuary, he'll show you this thing called the Secret Stash, which I explained a little bit in my video, but basically it's a chest you can put your items in that allows you to share them between characters, which is really cool. You could not do that in the first game. And your own characters, rather. Obviously, we know already that you can trade with other characters in the game. But now, if you start a new character, you can still have awesome guns and stuff, which is great since there's so many of them. And then the second part of the demo, which was my absolute favorite part, was in this kind of frozen tundra area right outside of Sanctuary, where we go to meet Tiny Tina, which is a little 13-year-old girl.
Aww.
And she's voiced by Ashley Birch, which is amazing. She does an incredible job. And basically the mission that she gives us is to lure Fleshstick, who is one of the bandits, back to her place for a tea party. And I'm not gonna spoil it for you or anything, but the ensuing events are hilarious. If you accidentally kill him in the process, you'll have to start the mission over. Which doesn't really have, I don't think, many negative effects. You really just have to go request it again from Tiny Tina and do it again. But one thing that I have not yet mentioned that was completely new to us in this particular demo is the badass ranking, where basically you get badass tokens by completing these little challenges that pop up in the corner of the screen every so often. And you use those badass tokens to build up your badass ranking, which basically allows you to buy stat upgrades for your character. And not only stat upgrades, but you can also transfer the stat upgrades between your own characters also. So if you start a new character, again, you can already start off like a little bit above equilibrium there. It's kind of one of the ways I think that they've added a lot of like ways for you to interact. not just with other players, but also between your own characters, which is really great for replay value. And I'll touch on that in a second when I answer some audience questions. But I put some feelers out there on the Twitters and the Detoids this morning to see if you guys had any questions that I could answer. So I'm going to answer a few of those now. Guillermo IGN asked on Twitter, compared to the first game, how much more character expansion, abilities, and whatnot is there? So like I said, there is a ton of customization in this, not just cosmetic, although there is a bunch of cosmetic stuff. They have these quick change machines now where you can change the entire suit or head of your character. You can also change your name and respec your skill points there. And they've also got rare items that you can just find around that are like rare skins and heads, even rare vehicle skins. So that's one way. And then, of course, the skill trees, which I touched on a little bit in my interview with Randy Varnell. Those are going to allow for a much more tailored experience gameplay-wise. So whereas in the first game, most of the skills are just like, oh, increase like your cooldown time by 10% or something. Like, it's more individual to the specific classes and a lot more interesting now. And you can string all of, like, if you, for instance, get all of your skill points and you get really high level, and you have like every skill there is, you can string them together for like a super powerful thing. So like Axton has a skill where you can add a second gun to his turret. He's also got a skill where you can turn the turret into a nuke. So when you throw it out there and deploy it, it like explodes in a nuke. And you can combine those to create like a really awesome, super powerful thing. And then of course for the characters, all the background stories are a lot more fleshed out. Just the story in general in this game is like really amped up. And you'll also learn a lot about the characters from the previous game, since Borderlands didn't really like go into the backgrounds of a lot of them. Next question. Titty T asked, what are the controls like in Borderlands 2 and how are they different from the previous title? How do they feel? I would say the controls are mostly the same. I didn't notice any actual like differences in how you move or anything. But like the in-game movement is way more fluid and fast-paced, and that's mostly because you don't have to sit there picking up individual items anymore. So like it's just like a lot more like fast-paced and fluid. Epic KX asked on Twitter, any discussion on level cap? Will it be level 69 as the max as before, or some other classy number like 420? I should try to get my character up to 420 now that I think about it.
Oh, Tara.
But no, there is no level cap in Borderlands 2, actually. I think they announced that there would be like a level 50 cap a while ago, and then recently they kind of got rid of it. Interestingly, Randy Pitchford said in an interview recently that the campaign is supposed to last 60 hours. Like, he said that some people came in and were like, oh, hey, can we write a strategy guide for Borderlands 2? And he was like, okay. And they were like, oh, we'll just do a quick run through with one of the characters first. And it took them 58 hours to complete the game. So, I don't know about that. Gaurav Singh asked on Destructoid, how would you rate the vehicular combat in the game? Have you seen footage of such? A discussion of that, if possible, would be quite helpful, even if you aren't allowed to discuss the specifics. Unfortunately, we haven't really gotten any hands-on time with the vehicles yet. I think there have been a few glimpses of them in some of the trailers that they've shown, but we haven't seen it in any of the trailers, in any of our playable demos. I think they might be doing one more PR tour before the game actually comes out, so they might wait until then to show it, or they might just not show it.
It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to buy it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Flint Mech also asked on Destructoid, how important is the first Borderlands story to understanding the plot of Borderlands 2 for those of us who just never finished it? I will say playing the first Borderlands will only enhance your experience. Like I said before, they didn't go into too much about story really in the first game, and you can totally play the second one without understanding any of that. But it will be more interesting, you know, when you meet the old characters in the new game. And lastly, Insultobot asks, is Zero as man/woman in a suit, or is Zero a sexless bot? If bot, can I give Zero my sex?
Yes, Insultobot, you can give all the bots your sex. Just go out there and do it.
Yes, go out there and be somebody. And that's Borderlands 2. I apologize to those of you whose questions I did not have time to answer, but if there is anything pressing that you need to know about the game, you can always hit me up on Twitter. I'm on there at TerraLongest. Max is on there too, I guess.
Yeah, I'm Max Scoville, and we have a winner.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
We do?
For our contest.
Who is it?
For Spec Ops, Bruised Leaf is the winner. So Bruised Leaf, you are
Congratulations.
Come down from your shaky tree and collect your prize.
We will send you the code on Twitter.
We'll DM you the code. Yeah, and you can follow us, the show. We're at Detoid Show on the internet, on Twitter. That's a thing. And go check out the rest of the stuff we did this week. We did a bunch of stuff. It's here. It's also on Rev3 Games. It's been a busy week. There's lots of things.
So busy.
Yes.
I'm gonna go home now and
That's a good
sleep
thing. Yes.
forever.
Go get yourself some lozenges, Tara.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay. You guys have a good weekend. We will see you back here on Monday.
Thanks for joining us.
I love you.